When I was new to yoga, getting up and down from the floor was a whole thing. Everyone else in class seemed to move between standing and getting up off the mat like it was nothing. Fluid, easy, and I was over here taking 3 times as long as everybody else. I was using my hands, I'm rolling around, making faces. And then once I finally got to the floor, I could not sit cross-legged because my hips and my knees were so tight, my hamstrings, my knees were up by my knees, by my ears, by my knees. My knees were up by my ears. And I spent a lot of energy. So that meant I was probably not really learning as much as I could have been. And my instructor at the time did something I have never forgotten. Instead of telling me to push harder or modify this or stretch that, he would tell me to close my eyes and visualize the person I would be in 1 year of consistent practice. Not forced, not white knuckling through poses I wasn't ready for, just consistent, small movements, small breaths, showing up. He had me visualize how I moved, how I felt in my body, what it was like to just be there without fighting anything. That reframe changed everything about how I practiced. And I stopped measuring myself against everyone else in the room, and I started paying attention to what was actually happening in my own body. And I started celebrating things that probably looked ridiculous from the outside. And what I mean by that is I celebrated the first time I could sit cross-legged without my knees screaming, without my knees being up by my ears. I celebrated that. I literally was like, hey, look at this, look at this. The first time I touched my shins in a forward fold, not my toes, my shins, I celebrated that too, because that was real for me. That was mine. And it was nobody else's timeline. It had nothing to do with anybody else. It was mine. And so if you're new to yoga or you've tried it and it felt like you were bad at it, I want to say something directly. Let me look at you. You are not bad at yoga. You are new to yoga. Those are completely different things. Being new means you're awkward. That's what it means. It means things take longer than you want them to. It means you look around and feel behind. That's not failure. That's just what new feels like. And as a society, we just got to get over this feeling that we're not supposed to feel awkward when we're learning something, because that's just what new feels like. The goal right now is not to look like the person next to you. The goal is to feel what's happening in your own body and to start learning what it needs. And here's where I'm going to push back on something. You have probably been given advice about yoga. You've probably been given advice from a friend or from a video you watched or from someone in a class who meant well. And some of that advice might have made you feel like you were doing yoga wrong, right? Because that's just how it goes. I want you to consider the possibility that they were only speaking to their body, not yours. So your flexible friend who told you to just relax into the pose, that works for their body. The instructor who adjusted you, maybe without asking, they were working from their experience of the pose. Or maybe the video that told you to breathe into your hips to open them. That cue might land for some people and mean absolutely nothing to you. None of them are necessarily wrong. They just don't live in your body. You do. And part of what yoga is actually teaching you is how to listen to that, how to figure out what a pose feels like for you, what your body needs, what's a stretch, and what's a signal to back off. I have to keep adjusting my glasses here. That's a skill, and you're just starting to build it. Give yourself time. Give yourself time. Now, and this matters, if you have taken a beginner yoga class and the whole thing felt like an exercise in making shapes, keeping up, figuring out where to put your limbs while everyone else seemed to know what to do already, that might not have been a beginner class. That might have been a regular class with the word beginner in the title. So a real beginner class slows down enough for you to actually feel the pose. The teacher gives you the time to notice what you are feeling and guides you in noticing different sensations in your body. They don't just tell you what shape you're supposed to make. Also, modifications aren't an afterthought. They're part of the instruction. And nobody is looking at you to see if you're doing it wrong. Right? If the class you were in was all about achieving a shape and nothing about how that shape felt in your body, you weren't in the wrong body. You were in the wrong class. I'm going to say that till the cows come home. If you want to build that foundation before you walk into any class, that's what yoga that fits your body is for. It teaches you 28 foundational poses, step by step, with modifications built in from the start, not so you can perform yoga, so you can feel it. So you know what a forward fold is supposed to feel like in your hamstrings, so you know why child's pose is supposed to be restful and what to do when it isn't. So you walk into your first class or your 10th and you're not just surviving it. You're actually learning, and it's $7. Lifetime access. The link is in the description. And if you're in Nampa, Boise, Caldwell, Meridian, Idaho, anywhere in Canyon County, Idaho, come practice with us at 2C Yoga. We have a 3-week unlimited yoga for $70, and we teach the feeling, not the shape. That's the whole thing. Because you're not behind. You're just beginning, and beginning is exactly where you're supposed to be.